Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Pumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. Remember that if you want to be a part of this tech conversation, you can find us on SABC Network. That's on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za on email. You can also use the hashtag SABC Network. Here's what's coming up in the program. We tell you about some of the new tech from the MTN IOT Awards. We attended the CSIR's Career Expo. And today we are talking about upskilling ourselves so we can be part of the fourth industrial revolution. Kagaza Mtembu from Digify Africa is here for that one. Hello, and thank you very much for joining us, Kagaza.
Hello, thank you for the invite.
How easily can people upskill themselves?
The amazing thing is that when it comes to digital skills, there are a lot of resources that are available free online for you to do so.
All right, hold their thoughts. We'll have that discussion later in the program. But first, let's start with your technology and social media news. Innovators with new technologies that can help South Africa received prizes at the MTN IOT Awards recently. These were automotive solutions, devices that help in the future of smart cities and even in artificial intelligence. New solutions and technologies were on show at this year's MTN IoT Conference and Awards. The Internet of Things involves machines that communicate with other machines through sensors. MTN says this meeting is necessary in order to identify solutions that can make our lives simpler.
We wanted to work with the innovation that's in the country, with all the developers and SMEs in developing solutions for our own problems.
In the awards part of the event, startups with such solutions were identified. Patwa Senene is the founder of Smart City. His award-winning broom has fancy buttons.
It works by allowing a street sweeper to tag the GPS location of illegal dumping sites and leaking pipes. This will allow the municipal departments to send the teams to respond to these issues that the street sweepers have identified.
Aubrey Mnisi founded Sensorit. His smart car solution is now an award winner. It upgrades old vehicles so they can sense when they are getting too close to other cars to avoid accidents.
In SA, we have about 800,000 road traffic crashes that result into 2 million people injured on a yearly basis, costing the country around about 143 billion rands. So we've taken up that responsibility to reduce that number, by essentially upgrading old cars and making them smarter.
Some of the technologies on show here will contribute towards the creation of smart cities in Africa.
We need to have the city, but we need it to be safe for both disaster and crime and other stuff, so that people want to be there, they want to work there, businesses can be profitable, and you can make a difference. We need to have good transportation so workers can get to work. You can move around logistics well, you can get there faster, you can make things happen viably. But then we need to find out what it is which would make that city be competitive in a global market.
Other new technologies that have been on show here are in maritime, animal tracking and artificial intelligence. Inquisitive young minds were hosted by the CSIR to exhibit vast career opportunities in their science and technology fields. Producer Lebogang Sejake was there and she found out if these learners were inspired enough to pursue STEM-driven career paths.
In electronics engineering.
Yes, we do.
Curious minds like this one filled the CSIR's Convention Center where the organization's Career Day Expo took place.
So annually we have a career day where we invite learners from grade 10 to grade 12. So we invite them to come through and see the work that we do at the CSIR and also introduce them to the many different careers that they can choose in maths, science and engineering.
Some of the young learners in attendance felt inspired by the various science, technology, engineering and math-driven career options exhibited at the event.
Initially, I wanted to study actuarial sciences, but since I came here, I see that there are a lot of opportunities within the science field, and furthermore, I want to contribute towards solving problems.
I want to do electrical engineering. Yeah, so I'm here and I got more inspired by the people here, and I'm very glad about that.
I'm mostly interested in those ones involving robotics and electronics, and autonomous things and cars driving themselves and all that.
As South Africa celebrates Women's Month following yesteryear's march for the emancipation of women, the struggle nowadays is trying to increase the number of women in the science and technology field.
We have a huge priority for girls, and in terms of percentage-wise, we target 60% girls because we're trying to grow that. In our organization, the scale is a bit on the men's side. That's why we're growing a pool. But I'm very impressed. I mean, if you look at the kids we have today, a lot of the girls are coming out strongly as wanting to do science and engineering.
The Council of Science and Industrial Research hosted a group of about 6 high schools for this year's Career Day at their campus in Pretoria.
Now, as everything has become digital, entrepreneurs realize that they need to work on that aspect of their businesses. They gathered in Midrand to find out about some of these skills.
Many with small businesses were getting the advice and information they needed at this year's business show at Gallagher Convention Center at Midrand. The focus for many was in the digital spaces. Those giving the advice came from various sectors that include finance and digital.
So the digital space has really helped us to be more versatile, to meet people from Cape Town, from anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world as a fact. So it has really been well because we are digital based. So most of the things we do, we spread them online. We try to make sure that we get as much reach as possible, associate with the right people who can, get to the clients that we're looking for.
The information we're receiving here, it's beneficial, especially for our business. Reason being, we are able to have some sort of a guideline as to how we can communicate with our clients effectively, how we can do our marketing, how we can do our branding, all the importance of basics on how to start, run and escalate your business.
This event was filled with small entrepreneurs who looked to this event to give them information on how to better reach their clients and also provide better service.
One of the things that small businesses don't realize is that branding is for them. And they often think it's just for the big corporations. We'll do it properly when we're big. But very few of them realize the power of a first impression, the power that thinking about how they are perceived by clients and customers, like how important that is. So today I gave them many hints and tips about how to actually do that, to make a presence that people trust and that show that they are actually credible.
Some say small businesses can now compete with big corporations with just the use of a smartphone.
I just learned about how to market especially on social media, especially on the digital side of business, because everybody is on digital now. And also becoming a sales guru on learning how to make sales and create a cash flow for my business.
A lot of work is being done by tech companies to attract small businesses. The likes of Facebook and Google have introduced features that are just for entrepreneurs.
Now, after the break, we chat to Kagaza Mthembu, Digify Africa's head of strategy, about how young people can upskill themselves. Stay with us.
We are losing the best of kids. People that are fathers or pastors that comes from a church.
No taxi, nothing. We were not notified. I get to town, there's nothing.
We are tired and we want people to take action. We want government to take action because women are being raped, women are being killed, women are being sexually and physically abused every day. Children are going missing.
See men at the forefront of this march is what softens the heart and makes us all feel proud of the type of men that we have in our country.
Here, the rates of violence against women and children are alarmingly high. Enough is enough.
Everyone wants a dignified funeral.
That is what a clientele funeral plan can give you. Lasting dignity.
I just want my family to be there, all relaxed, not worrying about paying for anything, knowing that clientele covered everything.
I would like a dignified funeral, and the rest should be invested for my children's future.
Clientele funeral plans pay out in 24 hours. We will even send 200 Rand airtime.
SABC News celebrates Women's Month.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, we often talk about upskilling young people, so they are part of this fourth industrial revolution. Now, Liberty Africa was a huge part of doing this training. They've trained over 85,000 young people in digital skills and content development. This job continues even though Liberty has gone through a change to become Digify Africa. Joining me in studio now is Digify Africa's head of strategy, Qhakaza Mthembu. Hello, and thank you very much for being a part of our network.
Hello, thank you very much for the invite.
Qhakaza, why this change?
From Liberty to Digify Africa?
Yeah.
I think for us it really was just about a renewed focus on what it is that we're doing. So as Liberty Africa, we were also part agency, part training. But for us, the training became more impactful and really what we really wanted to focus on. And hence I'll move over to Digify Africa.
And a lot of people talk about this fourth industrial revolution. Robots are going to take their jobs because of new technologies coming in. People are going to be sitting at home, twiddling their thumbs. Is that true?
Partly true. I mean, if you sit and you don't do anything about the changing times and the changing nature of work, then you will find yourself obsolete at some point, you know. But I don't think it's as dangerous or as panic-inducing as that, you know. So I think little by little, industries are becoming more digitized, and as we learn more about digital, then you're able to find your place in the new industries.
You're saying people can find their places, but someone who is a driver, for example, might be thinking that, wait, they say in 2020 driverless cars are going to start rolling out on the road. So I'm a driver, then what do I do if there are now driverless vehicles on the road?
You change careers. No, I think I think behind the scenes there's always going to be people who know about it, right? You know, and you still need to inform the machine. So the thing is, a machine will do what you tell it to do. So behind the scenes there still need to be people who do understand that. So maybe it's about understanding your career in a wider field. And I mean, I know I don't know anything about being a driver or that field, you know, but I think it would be about finding where is your place. That knowledge that you still have is still important, and how do you inform the machine and help that or help it help you.
So you are saying the work is behind the scenes. Now tell us about the people you've trained in the 17 years of Liberty Africa's existence.
So we have focused on young people and then focused specifically on digital content and digital marketing. So we have run programs, 2 specific programs, Live Magazine, which was about content. So we run our website, which is Live Mag, and all the content that's up there is produced by the young people who have come through our platforms. They've later gone on to media spaces like the SABC to then work in there. And then we also have Digify Pro, which is really about feeding into the advertising industries that we have. So it's about digital marketing right from like the basics to quite advanced SEO and analytics skills. And they've gone on to start their careers within agency world.
When you say young people, they often say that you are as young as you want to be. And now for years and years, in fact, for as long as I've probably been around, I've been hearing that 40 is the new 20. And I've been hearing that for 30 odd years. So is 40 the new 20?
As I'm approaching that deadline that we have of 35 as young people, I think I'd want to say that 40 is the new 20. But I think it also just depends on, the partners that we work with. Some people are rather strict with like age groups, with how we work 18 to 25 or 18 to 35, you know. So I think it also is just about who we work with and what kind of limitations that they give us.
And you say that people have gone on to work in at different sectors. You mentioned broadcasting as one of them. You mentioned marketing as another one. But what sort of skills are these then? Is it someone who is, if you mentioned broadcasting, camera operator, for example? No.
No, so not necessarily on that broadcasting side, but more on sort of like the news making. So content creation, you know. So we've started out with writing, and that was really our focus. We've gone on to photography and online video. And as you've noticed, I mean, I think journalism, you don't sort of come out and just do one thing anymore, but to become a multimedia journalist is sort of what we're training for. So that's when we speak about the digital content on that side. And when it comes to Digify, it's about social media, it's analytics, it's Google Ads. So it's the introduction to digital marketing that we train up on those skills. Over and above those skills, we also then look at, in general, just work skills. So we were finding that young people are coming through to our programs. They've got the knowledge, but when it comes to the interview, they don't have the interview skills. Or when they start their new job, they haven't worked in a workplace before. So even just workplace skills and understanding how you are supposed to be professional and on time. So it becomes a all-round program where we also look at those soft skills that they call them, but also presenting, standing in front of people. Are you able to present your idea in the newsroom on Monday when it's a diary meeting? Are you able to present your concept to the client who's asked you to work on something? So we really do try and go for an all-round set of skills for our young people who come through the programs.
All right, and what new programs are you going to now have? How is this going to change now as Digify Africa?
It is very exciting times for Digify Africa because we have just launched a Digify Pro program in Nigeria, so we are expanding out into the rest of the continent as well. We also have our online course, so for young professionals who are wanting to update their skills on that, we've got our new paid-for programs that are coming through.
The academy as well?
Yes. So this is all part of the academy. We've also then introduced internet safety training with Facebook. So we've been going around to schools training young people because we know that young people are getting online at younger and younger ages and are dealing with some really dangerous aspects of it. So we're rolling out quite a few programs around that.
How do they get on very quickly?
So it's digifyafrica.com. We're also Digify Africa on Facebook and on Twitter with all the information that we have.
All right. Xhakaza Mthembu, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, Xhakaza Mthembu there is Head of Strategy at Digify Africa. Now, this week we caught up with a former Bafana captain, Lucas Radebe. He told us what his favorite technology is.
Hi, my name is Lucas Radebe, former Bafana and Digi United. And my favorite gadget is the remote control. Because with electronics, this nowadays, anything is possible. Sit on the couch, rewind, sit on the couch, choose whatever you want to see, but anything is possible.
This brings into question just the current situation that we are in crisis, that we are not protecting our children even after a criminal case is opened.
It's very difficult to negotiate until to communicate to you as to where exactly are we, because we have presented a comprehensive package.
We have compromised a lot, and if ESCOM is not going to be in their senses, they will really be putting us into a serious problem.
The story of refugees is one of resilience, perseverance, and courage. Ours must be of solidarity, compassion, and action.
If they will be coming here and say they want everything free from Home Affairs, we can't do that.
To do application for passport is a very, very big problem. They don't allow the person to have a passport as a refugee.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Now, Apple became the first US-based company with a market value of $1 trillion in 4 decades after it was co-founded by Steve Jobs in Silicon Valley. Those are some of the tech stories that made headlines in the rest of the world. Let's take a look.
Apple became the first $1 trillion publicly listed US company on Thursday
crowning a decade-long rise fueled by its ambiguous iPhone that transformed it from a niche player in personal computers into a global powerhouse. Started in the garage of co-owner Steve Jobs in 1976, Apple has pushed its revenue beyond the economic outputs of Portugal, New Zealand and other countries. New Yorker Donny Fenn bought shares in the 1980s on the recommendation of stockbroker a good friend of hers was dating.
I've loved watching it go up and up and up, and it's not that it makes me feel rich, it just kind of makes me feel like, geez, I wonder if I could be one of those like 85-year-old ladies who says, I bought Apple stock when I was 25 years old and I still have it, and now I can put my grandchildren through college. I don't know.
One of 5 U.S. companies since the 1980s to take a turn as Wall Street's largest company by market capitalization, Apple could lose its lead to the likes of Alphabet or Amazon if it does not find a major product or service as demand for smartphones loses steam. NASA is preparing to send a probe closer to the sun than any other spacecraft has ventured. Enduring wicked heat while zooming through the solar corona to study this outermost part of the stellar atmosphere that gives rise to the solar wind.
Not only we had to go flying very fast, entering the sun atmosphere, but we also had to go reaching with millions of degree temperatures. So we have this special heat shield. It's going to be around 5 inches thick, and that thing is made of special materials, carbon fibers and some special foams, and that keeps the outside of the spacecraft at 2500 Fahrenheit and the inside at room temperature.
The corona gives rise to the solar wind, a continuous flow of charged particles that permeates the solar system. Unpredictable solar winds cause disturbances in our planet's magnetic field and can play havoc with communication technologies on Earth. NASA hopes the findings will enable scientists to focus changes in Earth's space environment.
So by actually entering the sun atmosphere, what we call the corona, we can actually see these storms developing in the sun. And then when we learn about the sun, we can actually then infer how those storms happen in the sun then come and impact our planet. So we know how they're being accelerated, how they're being heated, and then learning all about those particles, then we can learn how they are going to impact our planet. We can better predict the space weather, as we call it, of our planet, and also the geostorms, and see we can protect our communication satellites and also learn about our climate too.
The probe, named after American solar astrophysicist Eugene Newman Packer, will have to survive difficult heat and radiation conditions. After leaving China almost a decade ago, Google might be coming back. According to sources, it's planning to launch a censored version of its search engine, which will block certain websites and even some search terms. It's a reversal of its stance from 8 years ago when Google left China in protest of the country's censorship. Since then, it's been actively seeking ways to re-enter the country where many of its products are blocked by regulators. Chinese state media quickly refuted claims saying that reports of Google's return to China weren't true. But a Chinese official later confirmed that Google had been in touch with China's cyber authorities. Google has declined to comment on the subject. The news also stirred a strong reaction on Chinese social media, with some saying they would have rather continue jumping the Great Firewall rather than use a castrated version of Google.
Now, Vodacom says its 4G population coverage will reach more than 85% by the end of 2018. 5G rollout, as we all know, starts in 2019. Now, on Twitter, we're asking if you know the difference between 2G, 3G, 5G, and 4G. Now, the majority of you say, no, you do not know anything about it. That figure is at 40%. There's 27% of respondents who say, yes, they know the difference. 20% of you say you don't really care about this. And at 13% are people who say they know just a little bit. How can you not want to know what kind of network you're on? That's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. From me and the rest of the network team, have a good one. It's bye-bye.